Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Let's Chat with Tanya Lightborn. Today, I am super excited to welcome the crochet vixen herself. She is an entrepreneur, a super mom. She's a creator and an educator. It is my esteemed privilege to welcome Rebecca Johnson. Welcome,
Hi, Miss Tanya. How are you?
Miss Tanya.
It's a
I
pleasure to
am
be here.
I know. I'm absolutely ecstatic to welcome you because I think I have to give everybody a little bit of a backstory about like how we met. Do you
Right?
mind? All right. So Rebecca and I were at a PTA meeting because super moms, that's what we do,
That's
right?
what we do.
That's what we do. And so did you come up to me? Were we just in the same in the same area? And I think I was talking to another mom or like walking through or looking for Layla.
Well, I glimpsed you,
Yeah,
and of course, I knew it was you. Just a
right.
bit shorter than I expected.
Ah,
And I
that
was
is
like,
funny.
oh, that's Tanya.
Yeah,
And you, I think I was getting wine because, that's what we do too.
that's what we do too. Ah,
Right. So I was getting wine, and I just tap you like, hey, I know you from Instagram. I love your work. I'd
and
love to
I'm
work
like,
with you.
I know. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like,
And then
what's
you were like,
your
yes,
name?
I messaged you.
Yeah,
And it was just I love how authentic, our meeting was. And I'm grateful to, that opportunity, met me being prepared to,
for sure. For
and us
sure.
being able to vibe because I thrive on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Energy does not lie.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I have to say how much of a fangirl I was. When she said, I said, fast forward to, okay, what's your name or what's your name on Instagram? And she said that, I was like, no way, no way, no way. Where's Layla? Layla, guess who this is? And Layla, of course, she was because literally we had just finished talking about the edge control and all sorts of stuff hair related because she's a natural girl. But I was totally I very rarely fangirl, but listen, I had a moment. Unashamed, I had a
Listen,
moment.
same here, same here. And of course I had to tell you about how I, back in the day, how I would have worked with your husband
Yes,
and
with Sherrod.
how,
Mhm.
I consulted with him even in my infancy in business.
Yes.
And, being able to remember just one thing from that meeting, not that
Hmm.
everything just went on deaf ears, but,
Yes.
just remembering one thing from that meeting, that consultation, and then taking
Hmm.
it into carrying it over into my business even today. And that's
Yeah.
been at least almost 13, 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that will obviously segue into this episode. I'd like to call it one of our beauty episodes. And so a perfect segue, like I said, into Beauty by Becca, because that's the name of your business. Not limited to, but that is what everybody knows when they think about Rebecca. They probably don't even know your name is Rebecca. So it's She's like, what? Her name is Becca. Okay.
Right.
So I'm super excited about this episode. One of the first things I'd like you to share is how you got into beauty, the beauty industry, and just carving this I guess this space for crochet braids and just everything that you do.
Well, taking it back to the island, I was born and raised in Eleuthera, and
Hey, lovely
I,
Luthra.
right,
Mhm.
and in JC, James Houston, small community
Yes, yes.
where we didn't have, TVs until late in the game,
Yes.
and our we pass our time by braiding mango seeds. You probably don't know nothing about that, just if in the community everyone braided, like it
Yeah.
was
Oh
it was a
wow.
thing. You have to know how to do it,
Yeah.
because you playing in dolls hair, you playing each other's hair. So yeah, I take it back from the island,
Oh
and I
wow.
started braiding from I was 12. And it was just I was the one you go to when you didn't want to go to the real beauticians, or when
Ah,
you just, I was the go-to. You got the
yeah,
cousin who can do hair, who
yes,
don't charge much to do hair, or you could just give them a little something to do it.
yeah.
So that was me. And then fast forward to moving to Nassau, I was a banker for 8 years before I started doing crochet.
Oh, wow.
And this year actually marked 8 years since I left, since I retired from the bank.
Yeah,
And just a little backstory on how I started crocheting. I, when you're in a female setting, we're in the card center, and everybody's talking about this crochet, and they're like, "Oh,
yeah,
I'm gonna do my crochet and crochet this and crochet that." So of course I'm like, "What are they talking about now?"
yeah.
And one person came with it done. And I was like, "Okay, yes." So I know that's not a style that I want to try at
Right.
all, you know. And with scrolling on Facebook, I saw uh an artist offering this service, and I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, if I can get it like this, then this is what I want, and
Okay.
this is what I'll get. But in the within that, at that point, at that time point in time, we were in the process of securing our home insurance, and the final, just finalizing the mortgage, just got the mortgage, so funds were tight. But I was like, I asked my boyfriend at the time, I was like, I like this style, and it looks like my hair, or
Yeah.
it'll look natural. So, but it's $150. And
Mm-hmm.
he said, no, it's not happening. I promise you. We were on the highway, and I said, well, you have men who just give women them the money, and they put the money on the table, go get your hair done, go get your nails done.
Yeah.
Charlie stopped the car. He said, well, if that's what you want, that's what you got to find. I promise you. He said, we could buy the hair, but you're going to have to do it yourself, because you could do it yourself. And I
Okay.
like when you do it yourself too. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how I started. And he got the hair. We got the hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fish fry,
Ah,
fry fish. We got the
yeah.
hair, and it took me about 3 days. And I was like, this is why I can't even finish my hair. I just could have gone to the professionals. But thankfully I didn't, because once I was done, I took a photo, posted it on Facebook, and I wish I had I just looked at it the other day. I wish I had so we can put it on the screen. I posted it on Facebook, and I promise you, I have never not been booked.
Wow.
And I tried to juggle, my day job and then coming home, but I couldn't take it anymore. And I think I remember my daughter asking, Mommy, you always working? And I think that was one of the reasons, that pushed me into resigning.
Yeah.
Another one would have been, well, the day of me resigning, I got a call. I checked my phone. We couldn't use phones while at our desk, but my
Yeah.
phone was going off, and I didn't have no play on my phone. Like, it was dry. And I had about 36 missed calls. And that was the end of it.
What?
People asking, hey, can I get my hair done? Can I get my hair done? When are you available? Hey, you
Oh
don't answer
my.
AAA. I need my hair done. So I've never resigned from a job before. Like I said, I was there for about 8.5 years. So I
Yeah.
didn't know how to resign. But of course, we had Google, and I sat next to the printer. I Googled resignation letter template, copied it,
Oh
pasted
my.
it, add my name, and signed it, took it into my direct supervisor. And she said to me, she said, I knew this was coming. I knew this is for you. This was always you. From you came in, I was there for 4 years. So yeah, long story short, that's how I went into crochet full time.
Wow.
Hmm.
And you said it's been about 8 years since you.
It has been 8 years. Yes, February would have made 8 years.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
and I had a baby the first year I left. I didn't even like, it was so, I knew it was for me. And God has been so good, where I didn't
Yeah.
even have a thought of, I'm bringing another child into the world, because I had my daughter already. We're bringing another child into the world now. How are we going to feed this baby? Because I just left my secure job.
Yes.
Every 2 weeks, I'm going to have this pay coming in. Now what? Like, it has never, not one time, crossed my mind, like, how am I going to
Go
make
back.
it?
Yeah.
because I left from styling a client to go into the hospital to have my son.
What?
So I was booked up to my delivery date. Like, my water broke. I thought my water had broke. I think I probably was just so tired of being pregnant. I think I told my boyfriend at the time, like, just my water broke. Take me to the hospital.
Yeah.
So I just was over it. Okay. So yeah, I was working up to the time I had my son. I had him November 11th, and I was back to work December 11th after a C-section.
1 month.
What I know now, what I know now, I wouldn't do that again.
Right.
But
Right.
that's just, an example of how God has been so good, and how
Yeah.
I've just excelled even after having something so secure, where people thought I was crazy. Like, how are you going to pay your mortgage? How are you going to pay your credit card bills?
Right.
Those things. So, yeah.
Wow. What would you say is the purpose behind Beauty by Becca? Like, a lot of people have pillars, they have mission statements. What's the purpose behind Beauty by Becca?
Well, I think I'm just not, every day I'm learning something new.
Mhm.
Well, not every day I'm learning something new, but every year, like, almost like a platform, it evolves. So right now, currently, I can tell you what my purpose is, because it can change a year from now, or it can
Yeah.
change
Yeah.
a month from now. So there's no one set or real answer for that, but I can tell you right now, it's about people.
Yeah.
It's about people, changing lives, in a way where women feel great about themselves, and not just women that sit in my chair. Almost everyone that I come in contact with,
Mhm.
I only aim to to make a difference, and make a change, and empower, in a way where, even if I make you feel good by saying good morning in a way where you've probably never heard it, or it lifts your spirit,
Yeah.
like, that's what I want you to know Beauty by Becca as: someone who is a light, someone who is a gift, to this world.
Yeah.
I teach, I mentor, not one-on-one, but I share my gift. I have a summer program with summer students,
Mhm.
senior high school students. They come in, and just watching them evolve has been, like, life changing.
Wow.
So yeah, at the end of the day, it's just, but it comes, all boils down to people and women in as a whole.
And when you look back, or in retrospect, when you first started, did you think that you would ever, or it would ever evolve into what it has?
Tanya, I've been asked that question many times, and to tell you the truth, I never had a set expectation. Like,
Okay.
how you have, well, I want to be here in a year, and I want to be here in a certain amount of
Yeah.
time. For me, it was, I just want to be where God wants me to be. I'm spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
so, like, I'm in tune with the now,
Yeah.
and I hope for the best in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So back then, I just was so busy and so consumed with work. It was like, I'm just grateful for what I have right now. And I just want to be able to take it to the next level, in a sense. But whatever that level is, I just hope that, it's in favor with my spirit, it's in favor with my family, and it's in
Yeah.
favor with, um, whoever it is that I'm going to work with, or whoever it is that I'm going to impact. So I didn't have, expectations, or I
Mm-hmm.
didn't. I just wanted to you know, make sure that I'm able to pay my bills,
I
and,
was just gonna say,
yeah, make
bills
sure
were
my bills
paid.
are paid, and make
Yeah.
sure there's no lack, and just push great work, and with hopes of great coming back to me.
Yeah. No, that's definitely the goal. So I've seen your, and I'm sure it's not only me because you have thousands of followers online, but your online presence is amazing. I love how you talk your viewers through, or your audience through, some of your processes, especially as it relates to different techniques, different styles, etc. What opportunities would you say has your passion, which is braiding and crocheting and just everything beauty related? What opportunities would you say this industry has afforded you, or some of your favorite opportunities, most love opportunities,
Well, one of the most memorable, I can tell
or
you, as
memorable?
a when I sorry,
Or memorable.
yeah, as a little girl, there was a beauty salon in my community, and she had the cosmetologist. She had some magazines, so you go into the magazines and you're looking at, what's happening around the world. And back then we only had Jet and, Jet
Ebony.
magazines and Ebony, and
Yeah.
you're looking at all the pin curl styles and all the banana peels and all that good stuff. And I came across this magazine with Bronner Brothers show,
Okay.
and they actually had a show at Atlantis.
Ah.
And I was a dreamer, always a dreamer. And when I say dreamer, not like dreaming in my sleep, I was awake and dreaming. I can be
Mm.
walking down the street to go to buy a tin of cream, and I don't see the grass that's on the floor. I see,
Hmm.
marble tiles that I see in the
Wow.
magazines. I don't see the trees that are around me. I see big lights and I see big buildings. And I've never even been to these places until I was about 18.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when I saw the Bronner Brothers show, it
Mhm.
was just so exciting. And I lived in that moment. I can be braiding my little cousin hair, and I'm in my mind, I'm braiding at a show, and it's so
Wow.
exciting. And I'm doing these things on stage. And fast forward years later, I we opened Bahamas Hair and Beauty Supplies, and just between partnering with different companies and supporting different brands, I was able to sorry, supporting different
It's
brands.
okay.
We're gonna touch on that just happened just
Yeah.
now in a few, okay?
Yeah.
But yeah, just being able to support different brands and just creating that connection. So I
Mhm.
went to, you know do some shopping for the store. And
Mhm.
I know that the brand that we supported, or that the brand that we use, usually go to the show, because I've seen them when I was 12 years old. And then to see them again on my Instagram, I'm like, hold on, wait, I use y'all here. So I must he could get on. Like, let's see what we can do. So I went
Yeah.
in,
Why
and
not?
I actually was just returning from vacation, from a week-long vacation with my kids, but I had to pick some stuff up from the warehouse. And I went in, I asked the rep, like, hey, I know you guys are doing Bronner Brothers in about a week or so.
Mhm.
Now I always do these things like in the moment, this is what I want.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen,
Yeah.
expecting it to happen. There's never a time where I expect, something not to happen if I'm going after it. So anyway, so I'm like, well, I would like to showcase for you. My name is, and this is my style name. She said, oh, we know you and we
Oh.
love your work. So in my mind, okay, well, let's say head start. So the door is open. So let me work with you. So she
Yeah.
said, no. She said, we have 6 stylists already and we only have 6 chairs. I said, we'll make a seventh one. And she
Oh.
looked at me like, well, that's something to think about. Yeah,
Yeah.
make a seventh one. You only have 6. It wouldn't hurt. You can just put me in the middle. And
Right.
by the time I left the warehouse, I was confirmed for the show 6 days later.
Oh my goodness.
So that was
Wow.
definitely one of the most memorable ones. And just being able to, go back and forth, and being able to eventually take other artists from the country. I've
Yeah.
taken at least 2 artists from the country, and then I've had, I've had friends accompany me as paid assistance. So being able to give that
Wow.
exposure to, my last show was Louisiana, and my artist Tiki, she was with me. She showcased with me. I even met a Bahamian at Bronner Brothers,
Wow.
and she actually came on. I told her she can come on stage, and we collaborated right then and there on stage. So, again, back to people and being able to share my gift
Right.
with others,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's not well received.
Because that could happen. You can't
It
be all
happens.
things to everybody.
It happens.
Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. So I have a question. Do you have a wait list?
I have wait lists. Um, Again,
So
I'm
there's no
just
chance that I could. How long would you say your wait list is, Becca?
I don't have wait lists for the Bahamas. I don't have a wait list for Nassau. I have
Okay.
wait lists for the other Bahama islands like Freeport, Exuma, Bimini, Eleuthera, Exuma, because I'm planning a pop-up on these islands. I'm
Okay.
planning a tour for the islands. But internationally, I have wait lists as long as 1500, 1400.
What?
I have, yeah, like, I mean, I'm so done with saying I hate to brag, because it is what it is. It's not like it's not
Yeah,
true.
absolutely
I
own
have
it.
I have wait lists in California, like anywhere I want to travel to right now, or wherever I desire to go, I create a wait list for it. So if someone said, so when people see it, I don't even know who's on my site, so when they see it, it's just filling up.
Yeah,
And that's how. So right now, if I want to go to New York, I would send an email to, I wouldn't send it to the whole wait list, because that would be annoying. It would get filled up. It would get filled up
yeah.
really, really quickly. So I'm only one person. I can only do a certain amount of heads. So I would send a notice to, let's say, so much as 20 persons, when
Yeah.
I probably have half those appointments available. And my wait list, my appointments fill up, my pop-ups fill up within a minute. Record breaking right now is a
Really?
minute and 15 seconds.
Like, so you've posted Beauty
No,
by
I don't
Becca. Where
post. I don't ever post,
you don't
because
post.
no,
So you send
because
out the emails.
I would send an email. It would be a
Ah,
disadvantage for the ones who were waiting, than versus
got
someone
it.
who just sees it
Okay.
in passing. And yeah. So I have wait lists. Yeah, once I send that email out, a minute and 15 seconds, appointments are gone.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Oh
that
my
this
goodness.
again, back to people. So this is why I teach.
Yes.
It's not that, I can't even, it makes me want to cry, knowing that if I teach you and you know how to do it and you slunk on it, it makes me so mad,
Yeah.
because what are you doing? You know what I mean? So just being able to teach and partner. I
Mhm.
have a student in Indiana. She's thriving, but she
Oh
can't accept
wow.
more clients. So that's her fault.
Indiana.
I have a client, a student, Ashley Lynn. She's Bahamian. She's in Charlotte.
Okay.
She's booked. She's trying to organize her calendar to accept new clients.
Wow.
I have a student in Fort Pierce. She actually came to have her hair done. She flew over for the day and people do that often
Oh.
too. She flew
Yeah.
over for the day to have her hair done, Slave Goddesses, and she purchased the course right then and there, purchased her inventory, and she's booked. Like, everybody's booked. So
And
there's room
so,
for everybody because of the exclusivity of the style, the extensions.
oh my.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, uh, let's chat a little bit about exposure, because I know as a creative that people tend to dangle that over your head. In particular, if they feel like, oh, well, the most popular opinion is that, they're from the islands, they being the creative, and I'm from wherever in the world. And or it could be someone local too. I want to partner with you to get your exposure. I'm celebrity A. I want to partner with you and I'll put you on, quote unquote. And I remember my husband when I worked my 9 to 5 and he was, he was probably into maybe year 5 as an entrepreneur. And I remembered him saying how it became so annoying. Of course, once or twice you take some chances and you say, you know what, this will be mutually beneficial. So there is value in me partnering with this person, or just perhaps I provide a deep discount and in exchange they're going to do X, Y, and Z. But when he became successful enough in that, exposure was no longer like, it didn't move him. He mentioned how, how people tend to use that, try to use it to their advantage, and try to say to you, okay, hey, I'll give you this, or I'll, again, I'll put you on, I'll do this. So let's chat about, does that happen in your industry as well?
Of course it does.
Yeah.
But for me, knowing what I know now and from past experiences,
Yeah.
working for exposure is only good when the person who you're working with is a good person or has a good heart or wants you to win. Not everybody who is high wants you to fly high too. Okay, so for me, everything is black and white.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, knowing what I know now, you're going to have to put that in black and white before we can move forward with anything,
Mm-hmm.
because you know, I have Miss Shira who comes in and pays her hard-earned money. I have Stacy that comes in and pay her hard-earned money, and they post me, and I'm able to
Yeah.
take a photo. So it's not that I am not grateful for
Yeah.
high end, or because all my clients are high end, but I don't mind collaborating, but it has to be beneficial for me and my brand.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the exposure again, exposure doesn't pay the bills, but I stand on my first point, where it's only good if the person who you're working with has a
It's a
good
good person.
heart and they want you to
Yeah.
grow. Because I've been placed in positions where, is this of God, or is this from, like, not to sound religious, but like, what
Yeah.
is this? And no, we will
Yeah.
not. And again, being from the Bahamas and being from the island, I've heard before, are you from the islands? When I hear from the islands, I know what's coming next.
That's a
So
red flag.
that's a
Yeah.
red flag. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Or, the misconception that I can do more for you
Mm-hmm.
than you can do for yourself. Like,
Yeah.
I'm top where I am. And
Yeah.
I say that humbly.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna treat me like I'm, you know,
Subpar.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
not.
top tier. Top
I am
shelf.
top tier. I am the creme de la creme,
Yes.
and I'm from the
Yes.
Bahamas. So
Yes. I love it.
no, it's not. Mm-mm.
I love it. I love it. And more recently, like, I think I remember just a couple weeks back, I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw that Becca was in California.
Well, can I tell you about that?
Please do, because
Listen,
hold on, before you even start, a lot of times we see the glory and not know the story, right? And it's like, who is this? Who's, well, how she get, and who she think, and tell us the story.
I was ending a pop up in Atlanta, and I'm sitting there with my team thinking, what's next? Where do we go next? What's in store?
Yeah.
Because, of course, having to prioritize my client's home, I would have to plan month to month. And I got a
Yeah.
DM, and it just solidified where I needed to go next. And when Christina Milian messaged, everything just fell right into
Wow.
place. So, while you do have, people who are of high value,
Yeah.
um almost set out to take advantage. You have those who are of high
Yeah.
value, who do care. They still have a heart. They're very, very genuine. So being able to, and again, I have a wait list in California too.
Oh.
So it was like nothing to fly over and, you know, service her and still be able to service clients that were service young Violet,
Yeah.
and then service other clients that were on my wait list. So it was a beautiful experience. And
Wow.
again, it was again opportunity meeting preparation, and I was prepared to go. I
Yeah.
did it. It's beautiful, and I'm actually about to service her again.
Do you need somebody to carry your bags? Because
Absolutely. And respond
yeah,
to messages.
you know, I could I could do a thing or two since I can't get my hair done.
Listen, let me tell you, and it was I actually was between two. It was either California or sorry, and after that trip,
Yeah.
I got an offer to go to oh gosh, Thailand.
Thailand.
Thailand, yeah. So that was actually my second offer for Thailand. The
Okay.
first was last year, and then the second was again this year. So it must be something great in Thailand. But they were willing
Yeah.
to accommodate the entire, because there's no one there, and they really, really want the style. In fact, two of them
Yeah.
actually would have purchased extensions from me and still couldn't find anyone to do it, but really, really wanted it. And that just goes back to, you know, everyone being in, you know, having different means and being in different positions to be able
Yeah. Yeah.
to do things like this. And I'm grateful, you know,
Yeah.
to be chosen out of the many that they could have,
Yeah.
reached out to. And you know, that's, I just desire to give really great work
Yeah. No, we can
always.
tell. We
So
can
it's a
we can
blessing.
definitely tell. Yeah. At any point did you think Christina Milian, yeah, right. Did you ever think that it was I don't know, somebody just pretending to be her?
Not one time, not
No.
one time. I was like, and the thing is, I was like, hey girl. Yeah, it was so, listen, it was so natural.
Yes.
And when she said, "Can you?" I said, "Well, give me just a sec. Let me check." And you just
Yeah.
always go with your gut. You know what I
Of
mean? You go with
course.
your gut, and for me, it's all about character, because I've turned persons down before. Okay, because again, I go with my gut. So when she
Yeah.
messaged, it flowed like, you know,
Yeah.
like we've known each other for a
Yeah.
long time, but I never felt like it was someone else, or you
Yeah.
know, it really wasn't her. I've
Yeah.
actually I've actually, and it was, I was grateful because it wasn't an assistant, you know what I mean? And
Right.
I was so grateful because I didn't miss it, because I've missed several by, you know, not being where just not being in the position to, or, you know,
Yeah.
messages being backed up. That's a dangerous thing too with business,
Wow.
but you know, you live, you learn, and you
Of
just
course.
make better decisions. But I
Of
remember
course.
too, I had a celebrity. She was in Turks, but I didn't know she was in Turks. She was like, "Hey, do you do X, Y, and Z?" Of course I do. Before I even responded to her, I checked to see where she was.
Yeah.
It looked like the Bahamas, but it wasn't. It wasn't the
Okay.
Bahamas. It wasn't the Bahamas. So by the time I responded, you know, she said she's in Turks. Of course, I couldn't get
Okay.
there right away, but we exchanged numbers, and you know, I can message her right now and say, "Hey, you know, where you at? You think you want
Yeah.
to have your hair done?" And she would respond and say, "Hey, you know,
Wow.
no, I'm here or I'm there," and everything just lines up with what is on her Instagram. So
Yeah.
just period. It's not like, you know, I'm hounding her, but it's just like, "Hey, what's up?" You know,
Yeah. I mean, these people are they're
ready
human
for
just
some
like us,
braids.
right? They're human just like us.
Yeah, and that's how, and that's the thing. Like, I don't believe that anyone is above me or
Right.
beneath me. No,
Yeah.
you know, so that's how I operate. So if I ask you to do your hair, or if you reach out to me, the answer is going to be yes, or it's going to be no. So I
Yeah.
don't operate in fear. I don't operate in, you know, are you, can I? No,
Yeah.
you know, because again, I'm
I'm that girl.
Respectfully.
You know, what I love too about that interaction with Christina Milian is that she didn't just request services for her. She requested services for her daughter. So that's a different level. Because when it comes to our kids, we almost always want the best. We only want the
Hmm.
best, right? And so if she searched for you or Googled or whatever, that says a lot. That says a whole
Absolutely.
lot. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that says a whole lot. So let's pivot a little bit because you are a super mom as well. Amidst your busy schedule, how do you balance this work? And I mean, and I don't call it, actually, I'm saying balance. I really don't call it balance
Because it's not.
because it's not. To me, it's creating harmony. How do you create harmony between work or your passion and your home life, your kids? Don't worry. I
Listen,
I have
I'm
three things max on my list to do. Okay, a
listen.
day.
I'm
Three.
I'm just trying to find the words, okay? But I show up
Yeah.
every day for my kids in the
Amen.
capacity that I can.
Yes.
I know what I can control.
Yeah.
I know what I can take on as a human being, just
Yeah.
beyond being a mother. And I know
Yeah.
what I can take on as, yeah, cook. What's cooking? No, I have someone to do that. Not that I don't want to, but I can cook,
Yeah.
but I need my food prepared when I get home. My food needs to be ready and hot when I get home. I don't desire to go into the kitchen and cook a meal unless it's planned and this is, my son's favorite food or my daughter's
Yeah.
favorite food. Yeah, I don't desire to clean up after my kids. I have, you know, we have a team of
Yeah.
people that do these things, and
Yeah.
it's smart.
Mhm.
It makes sense.
Mhm.
But that's just, housekeeping wise. But,
Yeah.
with my kids, I show up for them. And because I have a team that helps me at home or helps us at home,
Yeah.
we're able to watch more TV together, have more conversations, as a family,
Yeah.
and just also having a great partner to be there and to show up with you too, and just
Yes.
knowing what is in your scope,
Yeah. Yeah.
and what you can do and what you can control. And that's just what I'm not working beyond what I cannot control. It's
Yeah.
just not. It's just not my thing.
I now I know at this age or at this stage or at this phase in my life, I now understand when my great grandmother used to say, "One day at a time, sweet Jesus." Like I now
Hmm.
understand because
Absolutely,
it's so
absolutely.
much. I don't even know
Hmm.
how they did it.
I don't
And
I
back then they were having like 7 kids.
exactly.
Like what?
But
Whew.
like I say, just having also a great partner and having my husband, and
Absolutely.
I don't know what it is to iron clothes because he irons, and I don't know what it is to do certain things because he,
Yes.
he and he's an island man too. So
Yeah, that's a very rare commodity. Let me just tell
yeah,
you. Yeah.
and just being, having someone who knows love and knows how
Yes.
to show it,
Yes.
especially in a world in which we live, because we're not perfect,
No.
but to
Hmm.
have someone that shows up in a way where how my father did, or
Yeah.
in the old school way, that old school love, listen to
Ooh,
me, honey,
they
that's a
even have
different
songs
kind of
about
love.
that.
And I desire for my daughter to
Yeah.
have that old school love, or my son to show that old school love to his wife,
Yeah.
as because that's just always the goal, being able to do school pickup personally, carve out time for baseball games, and carve out
Yeah.
time to take them to the tennis court. um, and just the other day we were doing volcanoes in the yard,
Oh.
So just being able to do those things and just
Yeah.
spending
Yeah.
time, that time is very, very important. My
Mm-hmm.
son actually told me, my kids teach me and they've taught me how to treat them and how to bring them up.
Yeah.
My son was like, oh mommy, you when you when I do something wrong, don't spank me, talk to me, say,
Oh,
Poppy,
wow.
you don't
That's
do this and don't do that,
amazing.
and then I'm gonna stop. And then he
Yeah.
goes, because if you beat me, I'm just gonna go back and do the same thing
Oh,
again. Exactly.
out of the mouths of babes.
Uh-huh. And my daughter, she's like, mommy, you realize I don't like when you do that, right? Why don't you do it this way? So I'm humble enough to listen to my kids because
Yes.
I know what in the world I doing. I'm just trying
We just winging
to
it,
I'm just winging it, and they're helping
especially
me,
post pandemic.
and I'm humble enough to accept their, you know, them educating me and schooling me.
Was there ever a point when during your 8 years of being the crochet vixen, was there ever a time when your mindset was, I gotta work, I gotta make this money, I gotta do everything, I gotta be all things to everyone, I gotta service the clients, um,
Absolutely.
be the super mom, be an amazing partner, and then how long did it take you to snap out of it and be like, listen, I can't do this. My bandwidth per day is this. And what's important are these three things. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to contract the help. I'm going to get perhaps the chef. I'm going to outsource the laundry. I'm going to get the maid or the housekeeper so that I can be present and show up for my kids and for my loved ones.
If you, well, for me, knowing what I know now, if you
Mm-hmm.
mind, people's requests, you'll be
Yeah.
working around the clock. And it was never about money, it was
Yeah.
more about, again, back to people. So that can be a
Yeah.
good and a bad thing because you just want to please people. You just want to make sure that, no one is saying that, oh, she's so booked and she's so,
Mm-hmm.
she never has an appointment. I
Yeah.
didn't have an appointment 8 years ago, and right now you have persons who are saying I don't have an appointment now. So what made me, I can tell you how that affected me,
Mm-hmm.
just wanting to just, keep on going. And, having coming from a corporate background, it was more, you go to work. So it was a routine for me to go to work and get off. And in doing hair, I kept that same discipline. So
Right.
there are no days off. There's you just keep going, okay? And then you're
Right.
meeting these goals, these financial goals, and you're breaking these goals, and you're, investing, and you're doing all these things. And what stopped me is I couldn't move. I couldn't get out of bed one day. I couldn't get out of bed one day, and my legs were numb.
Because you're
And I called,
standing on your legs all day.
right. But the issue that
Yeah.
I had an IUD, and is it IUD?
It
Yeah, it's an
is.
IUD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had an IUD, and
Yeah.
I struggled with anxiety for about at least the 5 years that it was in. I was diagnosed with endometriosis, which
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even true. All of this was from the IUD. When I got the IUD out, I've never had anxiety. I didn't have anxiety anymore. I didn't have the pain from endometriosis anymore. But what really made me pull back was not being able to move out of my bed. And I have a full schedule. And one person from that schedule that I had to cancel, they were like, oh, well, I have things to do, but I'm
Oh,
in my bed and I can't even move.
and
And you're
that's what
telling
you're saying,
me that
and
you
that's what
have
they're
things
saying
to
to you.
do. Right. So in my mind, I can't move. And I don't know what you're used to. I don't know if you're used to, the people just canceling just because. I don't
Yeah.
cancel just because. It has
Right.
to be because of my health, even
Yeah.
down to my refined edges edge control. I sign the back of each one. But if there's a heart, it's because I was sick or one of my
Oh,
kids was
wow.
sick and I had to step away.
Yeah.
So I've learned to prioritize my family, prioritize my time. If I'm ill, or even so much as I'm just overexerted and I'm exhausted and I woke up late for an
Yeah.
appointment, I will message you or call you. I'm so sorry, which doesn't happen often. It happened about 3 times in my 8 years.
Yeah.
I overslept. I'm on my way. You're going to
Yeah.
either have to understand that I'm going to make it up to you
Yeah.
and let's move forward, but
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to stain me for, not meeting your needs when
Or
my
for
health
being human.
is but in this game,
I
a
know.
lot of people don't understand,
Yeah.
so being placed in that position is what really made me prioritize myself as a
Wow.
mother, because I can't move, I can't walk, I can't get out of this bed. Now I need to check myself into a hospital, or
Wow.
now what's next. but
Yeah.
you but you're wondering about your hair
About your hair.
and what it is that I not disregarding it, but
Agreed.
understanding we're human
Yeah.
and things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Wow. So my next point was gonna be what's important to you at this point in your life, but we kind of covered that.
right,
We
and
kind
that
of
and
covered
that
that
would
in
be
your
it.
last statement.
Yeah, it's all about family and being able to secure my kids' future.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, being able to create, for me it's about generational wealth, and
Yeah.
learning more about trust funds, and
Mm-hmm.
being able to just shatter the thought of you being a hairstylist for 20 years, and then
Yeah.
20 years later you're still a hairstyle. I
You're
don't want to
still
be
there.
behind the chair after a certain amount of time. I
Yeah.
want to move into something else. So right now for me it's more education, teaching
Yes.
women all over the world my techniques, and being able to transition into something that complements
Mm-hmm.
what it is that who that sorry what it is I stand for.
Right.
So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And
Yeah.
just again being able to transition into something else that is also great, because I was a great banker. I
Yeah.
was really great doing numbers background. So
Yeah.
and then of course I'm a great hairstylist and instructor. So whatever it is that I do, for the period of time that I'm doing it, I want to be
Mm-hmm.
great at it.
Yeah.
I don't want it to go like this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to just keep going that,
Yeah.
keep going that way.
Yeah. And you're doing that. You are doing that because I did a little Google search and I saw that you have a product line
Absolutely. Refined edges, edge
on
control. That's my baby.
Amazon.
Oh, yes. The thing is,
I was like,
I tried to keep it under wraps. I did a small snippet of, what it is that we're up to, just to
yeah,
kind of, but because we haven't really done it in post about it in a major way, or done any
I
PR on it in a
know.
major way. And I'm actually working with this new media company, Fincastle Media. I'm so excited to be with them,
Oh,
because
that's
we're about to
Georgia
do something
Turnquest.
great. Because
Georgia and
I've
Paul
been
Turnquest. They're
Yes,
amazing.
amazing. And I've been doing all of my PR and my promo. I've been doing myself, like from my cell
Yes.
phone, all these years. So I'm so excited
Yes.
to have this very, very talented, amazing group backing me. I can't even tell you how much of a family they make me feel. Like I just had a photo shoot with them. Oh my goodness,
Excellent.
Catherine was so great. Rabs,
Yes, the
she's such a
entire
great
team.
director. I'm telling you. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be able to, you know, there's more that's to come. But having
I'm
it on
sure.
Amazon, girl, it took a year. It took a whole year to get it where it's at.
And that's okay.
Yeah, and right. And yeah, so we're gonna really do some things
Yeah.
in the
No,
in
you're in great
coming up.
hands.
I wish this interview was longer. We need to do a part two.
I know. I will definitely have you back. So two things before we wrap up. I definitely want you to possibly give three pieces of advice for or three tips for the woman who wants to follow in your footsteps and not obviously do what you've done, but emulate and use your journey as inspiration because trust me, you inspire people who watch you who may not communicate that, but you inspire people daily, daily, daily. You also, and of course, we also want to know where we can find you, where we can find your products on the island and online, you know. So those two things.
Well, the first thing I would definitely say is to find that one thing that you
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
and stick to that one thing. I didn't I didn't become this successful by dabbling into every single thing in the beauty industry.
Mm-hmm.
I I have this saying where I'm the best at what I do because this is the only thing that I do, because it's
Yes.
true. And you'll
Yeah.
never miss anything that's new within what it is that you do, because that's the only thing that you're doing and that's your focus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So find that one thing and build on it, scale it. Secondly, be consistent with that one thing.
That's it.
Show up, be dedicated.
Yes.
Post even when you don't feel like posting.
Mm-hmm.
Invest in a good quality camera, invest in your skill classes. um, Reach out to someone who you see yourself. If you see someone in the position that you don't mind being in, reach out to them. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
X, Y, and Z. Ask them the
Yeah.
questions. The answer could be yes or the answer could be no.
Yeah. The worst they could say is
And
no.
right. And last
Mm-hmm.
but not least, just treat people well.
Be
Treat people
kind.
well, and just let your personality shine through, and just be genuine. Like, just be genuine
Yeah.
and treat people well. Always allowing purpose and your gift to always be the goal, never the money. The money's
Yeah.
gonna come. That's
It'll come.
automatic, and it's gonna feel
Agreed.
like it's gonna be like nothing.
Yeah.
And of course, use the money as a tool to invest in and flip it over. Don't buy hair,
Yeah.
don't buy makeup. No, don't just focus on vanity. Focus on investments and real estate, and even as small as a tent. Put 110 on the
Yeah.
island and Airbnb it. Somebody's gonna rent it. I just want to stick that in there.
Okay. That is fantastic. And where can we find you, Becca?
Yeah, so Beauty by Becca on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Woo.
My physical location is East Street Central, 2 doors north of the Teachers Credit Union, next to
Okay.
Bahama Dimes Hair and Beauty Supplies.
Mm-hmm.
My Refined Edges Edge Control can be found in many beauty supply stores throughout the country and also on the road, because it's in the community. We have
Yeah.
Bobo who sells it and he delivers. We have um, Danny that sells it in school. I think we have some sold in stock. We have some sold. It's everywhere. And we
Wow.
will continue to thrive, and will continue to grow, because listen, Refined Edge Control has helped businesses before the business even opened, was the
Yeah.
foundation to businesses being open, or being able to, gain clientele and new customers. So yeah.
How does that feel to know that you helped to start someone's livelihood? Anyway, listen,
Girl,
I
I
have to
am
have you back.
grateful. I am
Oh,
grateful. I'm grateful to them, because,
yeah.
when I'm asked, well, can you just put it in the big stores? No. If the big stores want it, not to say they can't get it, or
Yeah.
I'm just so, at the end of if I reach out to you
Yeah.
and it's saying what you want and this is not what you want to spend, then that's fine, because I
Yeah.
have Toya, who in the community, posting it on her status, and she's proud of it. I have women that wear it. I have Bahama. I have people in the banks that wear it. I have students in school that wear it. I always get screenshots even from my daughter where people post it on
Wow.
their status. So I prefer to be in the communities with people who actually use it, with people who actually love it, than just sitting on a shelf in a big store.
I know because my daughter, my daughter was the first person to introduce me to it. I'm like, what is this? She's like, Mommy. Now she's showing me an empty container because her cousin gifted her with it. And she's showing me this empty container. And I'm like, okay, well, what was this? She said, Mommy, it's edge control. So I'm looking at it like it's black though.
It's
Because
tinted.
as a mom, you see the other brands. It's clear, right? With
Hmm.
as when they were younger, the other brands have like the clear and different colors, right? And so when I saw like what was left of it, I'm like, but it's black. I said, I've never heard of this, and she was like, Mommy, this is so bomb. She's like, and it's by a Bahamian. So of course, literally fast forward to meeting you the next day. We had just finished talking about it.
You said
Anyway,
so. You said so.
yes,
So
that's
it's
why I had to grab her.
It's an amazing feeling, Tanya, and
Yeah.
just being able to, you know, that feeling you get when you watch the Olympics and we watch Shawnee Miller run and those
Yes,
Golden
the
Girls run.
chill.
It's that rush. It's the feeling you get in your stomach. Like, this is it's almost like an out of body experience, because
Yes.
I'm watching myself and I'm watching the brand itself. I'm looking at the brand not like it's as if it's mine, but
Yes.
like as if it's ours.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand where I'm coming from. So
Yeah.
when I hear people talk, if I'm in the food store and they talking about, boy, that edge control body,
Yeah.
I get a rush. Like,
Yeah.
boy, that bad for true.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. I'm
Yeah.
so proud of you. Every time I see women, in particular Bahamian women, doing really well, and they have a humble spirit. Because listen, these things, your skills, your mindset, all these things can be taken away from you. And so I love to see when God blesses you with these, the skill set or the talent or the mindset to just get things done. You don't take it for granted, and you take it and you like run with it. And so I am, if nobody's ever told you, I am super duper proud of you and everything that you're doing in the community, online, Amazon. Like, look, this is amazing. You taking this skill and you're taking it abroad and just showing women, Bahamian women, of course, and by extension your own kids, that this can be done, that anything is possible
Absolutely.
and anything can be done. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for carving
Thank
out
you so
this
much
time.
for having me. And I look forward to part 2.
Okay, we have to do this. And part 2, we will do in person.
Right.
We're going to do this in person. I promise.
Let's do it. I'm excited.
Yes, absolutely. So if you're watching the replay, this has been Let's Chat with Rebecca Johnson, also known as Beauty by Bekuh online. And we'll see you on another episode of Let's Chat with Tanya Lightborn.
Thank you so much, Tanya. And thanks
you
for watching.
Take care.